Somebody sent me a message about a Groyper who got exposed for being homosexual. Guess they said, Dylan, you're a queer. Can you do a queer report? Queer report. Queer report. Honestly, my opinion of it is I would probably be more surprised if the Groyper wasn't queer. I'd be more surprised. I'd be more surprised to be like, Groyper exposed for having heteronormative background. That would be more surprising to me than finding out another one of them are repressed. To be clear though, like the queer video is it's pretty, you know, here it is.
It angers me to no end to see like people talk about that in a government way. Like there's only one person who should tell any woman, especially you, to do with your uterus, and that person is me. What are you doing tonight?
I sure do love it when talk about the uterus. Made me less bi, actually. The amount of made me less bi through talking about the uterus. Apparently he released this video after it came out.
Bro, I hate y'all. Okay. I'm gonna try to edit this as minimal as possible to get this out as fast as possible. So someone found my old Twitter. So basically I upset a bunch of Jewish individuals, a bunch of like Israel first.
The Jews. The Jews. God, the Jews found my old gay. Man, I was just walking down the street and then the Jewish boy came up and he showed me the video of me sucking dick. And I was like, oh dog, no, not the Jew dick video. How do you open your mouth and say these words and then continue to breathe and to continue to talk and not to turn off the fucking camera? Can there not just be like a point where you kind of like tap out and you kind of cut your losses and you realize like, damn, this is something that can really, the time. Sometimes on the internet, you just take such an L. You just get to take such a beating, either self-inflicted or otherwise. Then you just need to walk away. You know, after a big boxing match, you know, you're not going to see like Jake Paul after Anthony Joshua broke his jaw. You're not gonna see him in 2 days having an MMA fight. No, you're gonna take 6 months for people to forget what it looked like with him half on the canvas and his face stops swelling to then re-engage. Why would the immediate? And it seems that he realizes it was a bad idea because this is deleted. So he did realize that engaging upon it and boosting it might not have been the strategy, but not before he engaged upon it.
Individuals
and blame the Jews.
Both from just my general like tweeting about how much I dislike Israel and dislike a certain tribe, as well as my disdain for JD Vance, which they're all like really pro on. And they found this like old Twitter from when I was kind of like a degen leftist type, and it has a lot of embarrassing photos of me, very feminine, me, whatever, you know. I think 20, it was anywhere from 18 to 20 in those photos. But nevertheless, what I find funny about this whole thing is that that's like part of my testimony. Like I was a leftist, degen, like fucking punk rock type. And then I found Jesus Christ. That's like actually part of my testimony all throughout college. So from 18.
Where was he?
To 20. No, it was actually before then. So 18, like 21, basically, I was like a total degen type.
By the way, the idea, I do want to find it. I do find it a little funny that you find Jesus. I guess, you know, Jesus was like, I got to warn you about the tribe. I got to warn you about the tribe. Okay. You know, look, they got me on the, I warn you about the tribe. Apparently that's what Jesus told him. That's that, or maybe that was something he discovered without his guidance. You know, it was something, you know, he's just working on his previous work. But then he becomes like a Russian Orthodox guy. I gotta say, American Russian Orthodox converts are some of the strangest people you will find on the planet. And I do want to add that down for the record.
I was in bands. I slept around a lot. Also,
It's just, I understand, like, you know, it's a very wide spanning faith. There's many sects. I just don't know, out of all, you come to the faith, right? You could go in from any angle, and it just, do you like the vibes there better, particularly? Why the Russian Orthodox? Does it just feel more traditional? Honestly, that's what I get from it usually. It's that they wanted to feel like they were signing into long-standing tradition, and they also don't like Catholics.
sorts of shit. I was a leftist.
Not always, but I've found that too.
That was a very like avowed like communist leftist. I mean the whole nine. I mean picture in your mind like I don't know, like leftist Twitter guy. I don't know. Put that in your mind, and that was me. Quintessentially, I had long hair, whatever. And then yeah, I found Jesus.
I mean, he still has that's kind of long still. And is that how he describes it? That's how he describes what makes the Twitter lefty shit. I had long hair. It was a trying time. That's how he described it. Dude, the reason people are uncomfortable with it is yes, you have long hair here. It's because you're wearing a crop top that says internet princess and you've got fucking fishnets on. It's not that you have long hair, dude. It's that you're like cross-dressing.
Jesus Christ in 2023, I believe. Let me get my dates right. 2023, I found Jesus Christ. I was baptized into the Orthodox Church, specifically the Eastern Orthodox Church. I'm not going to say where because that would like be doxing that church. But yeah, I've changed my life around. I found Jesus Christ and I decided to like get away from all that stuff. I clearly stopped being in bands. I cut my hair. I'm actually kind of overdue for a haircut soon, but it was a lot longer than this. Trust me. I quit all that stuff and became what I am. And then I started making videos about like politics and about history and culture and stuff like that. I don't see this as like a, oh my God, he was exposed. Cause like I was very open about all of this. I've tweeted, I have a whole video on my YouTube page, which you should go sub to, where I talk about my leftist past. And then it was me like reacting to leftist TikToks. I had a very degenerate leftist kind of like porno brained past. And that's what it was. I mean, I don't see the I don't see the drama there. But I've been told that, oh my God, this is a disaster. You got to make a video. I mean, listen, it is what it is. I mean, the fact is this, these people are looking to like dunk on me. They're looking to like find stuff on me because
Okay. I'm gonna try to take this seriously for like half a second, right? Now, I don't have a problem with the fact that this dude probably slept with dudes. Okay? That's obviously not a problem for me. I don't care. What I find strange is he's saying he found Jesus in 2023. Now, finding Jesus doesn't necessarily equivocate to I found Jesus and Jesus told me that the biggest issue in my life is that I like men, or the biggest issue. Like finding Jesus doesn't necessarily mean A to B, but we'll assume best case scenario for him that it did, that when he found Jesus, it was like a wave of avowed truths had immediately descended upon him. He had found the good book, and all these rules now stayed to his chest like ironclad commitments, right? Assuming that is the case, and I'm doing that for his benefit in this scenario. He's been like this for a year. Why is he making any content? I mean, why? If you a year ago were not only like going around, playing tiddlywinks with guys, again, no problem with that. But if you're going around playing tiddlywinks with dudes, and then a year later you're making videos and content about how that's degenerate, which you see, you hear the words he used, degenerate. Now, if he's describing himself as a degenerate because he did things that were generally or like seen as degenerate, or he's just saying any type of non-heteronormative, interaction is inherently degenerate.
Pepper21 has donated $5. I've been fat whole life and I'm 6'7". Why does God keep giving the femboy genetics to right-wingers instead of me? It's not fair, LMAO.
He's got femboy genetics. I don't know if he's got femboy genetics, honestly. I don't know if he has that. He's got the same type of like square head problem that I have, rectangle head problem. And it's not really a problem, but it's a problem if you wanted to be if you wanted to do the thigh highs, if you wanted to wear programming socks, you dig? But if he's calling that degenerate, it's been a year. If you're saying that these are the issues that affect society, you've been in it for a year, man. You're like if you've somehow figured out the right interpretation of God, congratulations, by the way. Very, very lucky on your half. And you need to tell the world about it and everybody else about it and tell other people how to live their life. That's something I would expect somebody to get confidence from maybe 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. You go live as a monk, go live in some monastery, learn a little bit. But no, it's like 1 year after he pops the dick out of his mouth, this dude is out there trying to tell everybody how to live their life according to the Lord. I just don't buy it. That's the first thing. The second thing is he wasn't just a queer. He was also a communist. It's not just that this dude was going around popping and locking it with dudes. He was also a communist. And so to go in this radical transformation of not only because you can be a homosexual and not a communist, you could even be a communist and not a homosexual, but to have both of these character traits, which are the antithesis of the lifestyle and values that he now speaks to, when it was literally a year ago, and we're assuming that he learned all of this at the same time, and this wasn't a gradual process, but an immediate God-given revelation, as if he had personally seen the light, right? It's a silly way to view it, but we're doing that to be nice. We're still just talking about a year. Why is this dude talking about why is he making content? Why? Like, of course, nobody's going to take you that seriously. Of course, people are going to laugh at you. If a video emerged showing me going like, hail, 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 from a year ago, and now I'm like, guys, no, now I'm totally, I'm an anti-racist now, okay? It was me, upon me throwing that Molotov through that Jewish community center, I realized the mid-arm throw, the error of my bigoted way. Like, no, it'd be ridiculous. Like, as laudable as that change might be, in his view, the laudable changes that are being made, why are you going around giving anybody advice about anything? You barely figured yourself out. There's nothing, I just don't like it when people, if you haven't figured out the world around you, I don't know why you're figuring out anybody else's business.
Criticize JD Vance. Like, that's why they're doing it. This is not out of some like desire for better journalism or a desire for honesty and integrity. It's because I shit on JD Vance and I called him a mango muncher. That's why they're doing this. I say that because I had little tiffs with someone like Captive Dreamer or whatever a couple times. But it was once I started talking shit about JD Vance.
Yeah, he says that name like it matters. Captive Dreamer. I assume this is a Twitter account. Is he referring to a Twitter account? Is this a YouTuber? Captive Dreamer. Oh, is that like a Carl Sagan? Is that like is that a liberal philosopher or is this like Friedman? Who is Captive Dreamer?
occurred is
Yeah, so
occurred.
I'm trying to take it seriously. That's still a lie. Okay, I'm not really. I'm doing something. I'm listening.
And the post got like a bunch of views and a bunch of likes. Now all of a sudden I have Milo, Captain Dreamer, I have Raw Ignition. I had this whole cadre of like Twitter people on my ass.
Okay, it is Twitter. We're still Milo Yiannopoulos. That's another one. So the only names I recognize here is this man, the latent repressed homosexual, and Milo Yiannopoulos. My God, righty cat fights.
So yeah, I mean, I'll take the L. It is bad optics, I suppose. But
Okay. Here are the places where you guys can go get some tail. Okay, if you're a gay man in the United States, a gay bar. Okay, LGBTQ plus events, and after hours Groyper late night drinking fests. Okay, any like after any event, you know, go to any of the local nearby bars. These are the three locations where if you got no other hope, you just need to get one out. Here's your three options I've determined.
it's something I haven't been honest about. Yeah, I was like a total degen leftist. I was like kind of fucking, I was super cringe. I was in a band. I was super like effeminate. I slept around a lot. I did drugs. I was a total fucking degenerate.
Am I crazy or is he still effeminate? Am I crazy or is he still effeminate? Like, I've never seen someone like, I used to be so effeminate. As he leans on it, I used to be so effeminate. So effeminate.
Gen leftist. I was like kind of fucking, I was super cringe. I was in a band. I was super like effeminate. I slept around a lot. I did drugs. I was a total fucking degenerate. It's like people who convert,
Everything he's describing is stuff that is taking away the gay, actually no, gay angle too. It's still stuff that's just going on in these groups on the right. The drugs, the sleeping around, all it's still happening.
to Christianity, they don't do so because things are like going good in their lives. Like someone doesn't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna go join the Orthodox Church," because they're like,
Yeah, do you know how weird it is to have people like tell me about who's banging who, about what right-wing influence? Like, oh, this rebel media influencer slept with this content creator with this, and this, that. I don't even want this information. I just go out with people and people invite me out to drink. They'll like come by to Kiev, you know, coming to go look at Ukraine to be able to say, look, I went to a war zone, or they're coming out to, you know, do something like that. And they'll be like, hey, I know Dylan's here. He's always working here. So what? And they'll call up. I'll go to the bar and this information will just come out to me. This information will just flow to me. And it's not just from one person. I'll hear it from multiple people. Sometimes the same stories over and over again. And I don't know if that's just one person like cycling it around, but like, it's not like these groups aren't whorish. Like this whorishness is just reserved for the left.
doing well in life. They usually do so because things aren't going well for them. And so, yeah, they found my old Twitter from when I was like a fucking degenerate and hadn't come to the church and hadn't come to, you know, this new life of mine. So,
Well, I'm happy that this man who was popping it in his mouth like 1 year ago is now going to be able to tell everybody else the horrors of homosexuality. I've lived the life. I can speak to it. And I do want to just throw out there that having sad pity fucks at 2 a.m. on Grindr and catching sexual diseases is not the pinnacle of gay existence. You know, there's other things you can do as a gay man. And if that's your complete view of what homosexuality is, that just sounds like that's your predilection, what you want to do. Maybe he will become a priest, you know? You know, in Kirill's church, he might actually just be right what they're looking for, man. Hey, if they haven't recruited him to be a spy yet in the States, then he's doing better than other people. What a weird story that was.